It's an absolute wonderful to invite everyone. If you could place your mobile phones on silent mode to ensure we have an uninterrupted, heavy-duty, insightful session. I'm Solomon Puris. It's my privilege to serve as the host for the Global Manufacturer Cluster Vision on behalf of INTEC 2026, Texas Ventures and CODISSIA. I extend a very warm and gracious welcome to all our dignitaries, chief guests, industry leaders, panelists, delegates, and esteemed members of the manufacturing fraternity gathered here today for the triumphant 12th edition of the Global Manufacturing Cluster Vision 2047, GMCV 2047. As we witness the scale, innovation, and technological excellence showcased in INTEC 2026, it is important for us to reflect on the remarkable journey of this flagship exhibition. Remember way back, some of us would recollect, the year was 1988 at the PSG grounds. We had the first expo, and today we are one of India's landmark engineering and manufacturing expo, spread across more than 260,000 square feet with over 460 plus exhibitors, over 700 plus stalls participating on the successful 21st edition of INTEC 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for INTEC Successful 2026. It's been a hard work that's really come to great fruition. Over the years, GMCV 2047 has evolved into a dynamic knowledge platform, driving industrial transformation, innovation, and collaborative growth. The journey across these 12 remarkable editions have been truly inspiring, reflecting the scale and strength of manufacturing excellence. Today's theme for the triumphant 12th edition is Intelligent Manufacturing, the Future Success Through Smart Factories. Again, it's Intelligent Manufacturing, the Future Success Through Smart Factories. To formally inaugurate this evening's proceedings, I now invite the President of CODISSIA, Mr. M. Karthikeyan, Managing Director, Suksma Dynamics Private Limited, to deliver the welcome address. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give him a big round of welcome?
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Office Bearers Executive Committee and members of CODISSIA, the Chairman, the Organizing Committee of INTEC 2026, the Managing Committee and Advisory Board members of GMCV 2047, it gives me immense pleasure to warmly welcome you all to this 12th edition of the Global Manufacturing Cluster Vision 2047, GMCV 2047. The theme of this edition, Intelligent Manufacturing, the Future Success Through Smart Factories, reflects the rapid transformation taking place across the globe manufacturing landscapes. It's my proud privilege and honor to extend a warm welcome to our chief guest, panelists, panel moderators, and distinguished industry leaders who have graciously accepted our invitation to share their expertise and insights at this unique conclave. I also extend my heartfelt welcome to all the delegates who have joined us here this evening in large numbers. GMCV 2047 represents the spirit of initiative, enterprise, innovation, leadership values that continue to drive the manufacturing industry forward. Today, manufacturing across the world is undergoing a major transformation. This shift from traditional manufacturing models towards intelligent, connected, and technology-driven system is creating new opportunities and new challenges. Manufacturing is moving from mass production towards specialization, flexibility, and value-added capabilities. This transformation presents tremendous opportunities for Indian MSMEs and manufacturers. The important question before us is, are we prepared to seize this opportunity and compete globally? At CODISSIA, we firmly believe that Indian manufacturers, particularly industries from the Coimbatore region, possess the entrepreneurial strength, engineering excellence, skilled workforce, and innovative mindset required to lead this transformation. Innovation will be the key driving force of future manufacturing success. Smart factories, automation, digital transformation, and advanced manufacturing systems are no longer optional. They are becoming essential for competitiveness, production quality, and sustainable growth. As industries become increasingly competitive, manufacturing must also look beyond domestic markets and focus on global opportunities, strategic partnership, and long-term value creation. Platforms like GMCV 2047 plays a vital role in bringing together industry leaders, experts, and entrepreneurs who exchange ideas, share insights, and shape the future of manufacturing. I am confident that today's deliberations and discussions will provide valuable perspectives and meaningful takeaways for all of us. Once again, I warmly welcome all of you to GMCV 2047 and wish you all an engaging, insightful, and productive evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much for the inspiring words of welcome. As CODISSIA always says, specialization, flexibility, and value-added capabilities, that's what we want our companies to move forward with. After this welcome, it's time to look at a very auspicious section. Light has always symbolized prosperity and progress, as illumination dispels darkness and made today's gathering ignite new ideas, partnership, and opportunities for the future of manufacturing. To mark this auspicious inauguration of GMCV, Global Manufacturer Cluster Vision 2047, we now invite our distinguished dignitaries for the ceremonial lamp lighting. We now request Mr. Thomas Dose, Mrs. Dose, Dr. Suzanne Gimina, along with Dr. Kanoka, Dr. Vishwas Ramdas Pudigi, Mr. Varun Dev, Mr. Karthik B, Mr. Ashutosh Kothari, Dr. Beena, if you could also come onto the stage to kindly grace the occasion by lighting the ceremonial lamp. We also request the President and the Secretary of CODISSIA, along with the Chairman and Vice Chairman of INTEC 2026 and the Director of Texas Ventures, to kindly join the dignitaries on stage. This is the moment where we go with traditions that always root us to our culture. This is a wonderful moment for us to witness as the distinguished dignitaries together inaugurating this prestigious conclave. 12 years, 12th edition. This is the 12th edition. Global Manufacturer Cluster Vision 2047. And Dr. Susan Gremia, warm welcome to you and thank you. That's nice touch over there. Dr. Beena. Ladies and gentlemen, round applause please. It's a special welcome for Dr. Kanoka. Welcome to Coimbatore. It's Dr. Vishwas Putigi along with Karthik, Varun Dev along with Mr. Ashutosh Kothari. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a big round of applause one more time please? Indeed, it's truly a wonderful moment to witness distinguished dignitaries for lighting the lamp and making the formal commencement of GMCV 2047. We now move to a defining segment to bring in the focus of this evening. It gives me immense pleasure to invite Mr. E.K. Punuswamy, Managing Partner, Surya Machines and Chairman of INTEC 2026, to present the GMCV 2047 Global Manufacturer Cluster Vision 2047 Vision Statement. Inviting Mr. E. Punuswamy, Managing Partner, Surya Machines and Chairman of INTEC 2026. Let's give him a big round of welcome. Come on, everybody.
Good evening. Very good evening to every one of you. Honorable Chief Guest, distinguished panelists, our esteemed panel moderator, valued delegates, dear members of CODISSIA family, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm good evening to each one of you. It's a moment of a great personal pride for me to welcome you to the triumphant 12th edition of GMCV, an evening that belongs to every manufacturer, every entrepreneur, every dreamer who believes in the limitless power of Indian industry. GMCV 2047 is where India's manufacturing future comes to life. Many of us have spent the past 2 days walking the magnificent floor of INTEC 2026, India's premier industrial trade fair, now in its 21st edition, spread across 2.6 lakh square feet with over 460 exhibitors and 700 stalls. What began at the PAG ground as set in 1988 has grown into something that makes every Coimbatore manufacturer proud to stand tall. But INTEC shows us what we have built. GMCV 2047 asks us something bigger. What we do, we build next. This evening is not a celebration of the past. It is a commitment to the future. And that is why I am especially glad you are all here tonight. On behalf of CODISSIA, I want to sincerely thank our friends at Texas Ventures for conceptualizing and driving GMCV 2047 year after year. This platform has become one of the most important knowledge-sharing forums in the Indian manufacturing calendar, a place where CEOs, industrialists, policymakers, technologists, and thought leaders come together with one shared purpose to build a stronger, smarter, more competitive Indian manufacturing ecosystem. 12 editions in GMCV is not just an event, it is a moment. Friends, the theme of tonight's forum, Intelligent Manufacturing, the future success through smart factories, could not be more timely. India's manufacturing sector is entering a truly transformative era. Artificial intelligence, automation, Industry 4.0, smart factories, digital integration, and sustainability are no longer distant concepts reserved for global giants. They are rapidly becoming the everyday tools of competitive manufacturers right here in Coimbatore, right here in Tamil Nadu, and right here in India. For our MSMEs and SMEs, this moment presents an opportunity unlike any we have seen before. Intelligent manufacturing is not the future, it is the competitive reality of. But transformation does not happen by waiting, it happens by deciding. Innovation today is about reimagining our business models, embracing new technologies, improving productivity, and building long-term value through courage and continuous improvement. Coimbatorians, manufacturers have always had that courage. Now we must channel into the next great chapter of our industrial story. This evening, we are privileged to learn from two exceptional global leaders who bring perspectives that are both inspiring and deeply relevant to our journey. We welcome Thomas Dose, Managing Director, BMW, and Dr. Kanoga from Japan. Welcome both of you, sir. We can achieve the vision, but to reach there, we must begin now. To the entire organizing team of Texas Ventures, to our sponsors, to every delegate who has joined us this evening, thank you for making this triumphant 12th edition of It Deserves to Be. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's not the celebration of the past, it's the positioning of the future, intelligent manufacturing. Your vision continues to inspire SMEs. Thank you, sir. It's now my proud privilege to welcome the chief guest for this evening, Mr. Thomas Dose, Managing Director, BMW India. More about him, Mr. Thomas Dose is the Managing Director of BMW India, leading the brand's Indian assembly manufacturing and Make in India operations. With over 18 years at BMW, including more than 15 years in India, he has steered the plant to achieve high global quality and productivity standards. Under Mr. Thomas Dose's leadership, BMW India has celebrated the milestone of 1 lakh made in India cars. Also under his leadership, the Indian market has seen robust double-digit sales growth. Mr. Thomas Dose is a strong advocate for purpose-driven smart manufacturing, actively focusing on AI, automation, localized sourcing, reaching up to 50% and digital transformation in the Indian automotive sector. Under his management, the Chennai facility has set benchmarks in green manufacturing, emphasizing recycled water testing and sustainable production. Before taking on the leadership role in India, Mr. Thomas Dose built extensive international expertise through his work in Germany and Japan, where he gained valuable exposure to lean manufacturing systems and precision engineering practices, including the renowned Toyota production system. This global perspective, combined with his practical leadership style, has enabled him to successfully blend technological innovation with human-centric management philosophies. A visionary leader, industry thought leader, and strong advocate for the future of smart mobility and manufacturing, Mr. Thomas Dose continues to inspire the automotive industry with his commitment to excellence, innovation, and sustainable growth. Ladies and gentlemen, we now invite and we request our chief guest, Mr. Thomas Dose, to deliver the keynote address. Let's give him a big welcome.
Test. Vanakkam, and a very good evening. Yeah, it's quite a long time. So welcome. I was asked to give a speech today. I had no clue what I should talk about. I gave today in the morning a small speech, and I feel I can reuse some of them. So, because recycling and reusing is one of the core elements. Yeah, where to start? Yesterday, my wife and I had the honor to go to the fair. It was a nice fair. We both were very much impressed about the size, about the quality, about the technology. But there was one observation, and this observation was very, very nice, where all these big CNC machines were, the engineers were sitting like, or standing like boys before a toy shop. And all these not so sexy machines, it was empty. When you think about German engineering, what will come to your mind? What is the first word you have in your mind? Precision? Precision. What is the second you have in your mind? Efficiency. So this is where we are. You know, everybody knows Germans are very efficient and precise. I will tell you a little story about my career when it starts 40 years back at ZF. Yeah, I worked for ZF, and those days, in the end of the 80s, ZF had a big problem. The problem was that the production price of a gearbox was in the same height as the sales price of our competitors. And if you count one and one together, you see there is no profit. But we had all the technologies. We have done everything precise. And every single value-adding step to our product was highly efficient. We had a department who was drilling, we had a department who was milling, we had a department who was turning, we had a department who was grinding. Everyone has done his job fantastic, top level, but at the end of the day, we did not make any money because the whole system was too expensive. So all the German engineering was focused, and if you give a German a task, he will do it very, very focused. We were all focused on the value adding of the parts. For instance, if you give a German the task to drill a hole, he will do it with high precision, drilling, reaming, lapping, whatever, and with a high efficiency. But all of a sudden we realized, okay, what does really, the customer is not paying for the hole I'm drilling. The customer wants to have a product. The customer wants the complete product, and then we thought, if we need these parts, 10 parts of these parts in 1 hour, then the cycle time is 6 minutes. Why do we use a CNC machine to drill this hole in seconds when we just needed all 6 minutes? The whole system was set up on precise, efficient machining. We learned from our Japanese colleagues to the Toyota production system, we might need to turn our view. The paradigm shift was, it's not precision and efficient, it is process and effectiveness. It's perpendicular to that. The view is complete perpendicular. And that was an eye-opener for me 40 years back to realize, yes, precision is good, but not for every sake. And I had, when I was an apprentice, my master told me a very good lesson. He said, Thomas, just do your job as good as required. not do your job as good as possible. Because when you do it more than required, it's waste of time. That was a shock for me, but the wisdom is still on. That was something that opened my mind. And then we rearranged at ZF the complete factory in small islands. They were responsible for a complete product. We set up chaku lines. We had no fancy machining, but just the machining we need to do this particular job. And all of a sudden, the throughput time was so less, the cost was so less, that we have reduced the cost by 30%. That was the way ZF came back to life in the 80s. The problem ZF has now is a different one, has nothing to do with that. But that was an eye-opener for me. Same is applicable, and this is what I want to talk about tonight, is the paradigm shift. This paradigm shift was really essential. How do you perform, or how do you create a high-performance team? Even with all these AI, I will touch on later, it depends on the people who are working in your organization. And how the people work together is the key to success. You have teams where you might have the situation where they work against each other. Just imagine you have a playground and you have players and you give them the rule book of playing cricket. What will they do? They will play cricket. If you give the same people the rule book of football, they will play football. What is the rule book you are giving to your associates? Have you ever defined this? So the outcome is a team, and the team can work against each other because the rule book says you have a silo, I'm measuring your performance of your department, or you have an organization where the different departments working next to each other. They are not working against each other, but they are working next to each other, which is a little bit better. And then you might have a rule book where you support that the people working with each other, they are complementing each other. Or you have a rule book where people work for each other. And I will give you a practical example about BMW India Private Limited. But before we come to that, I will also touch upon this point of how do we hire people? How do we add people to our teams? I was once on an HR conference where a lot of specialists were sitting around to hire people. They even use AI to filter these CVs. But what do we really want? Do we really want to have a person who is fulfilling a predefined role and then having only a match of 90 or 95%? Or do we want to buy in the people as complete, holistic, with all their talents, bringing all the talents into this team? Then you have to have a rule book where you have the situation that the team is working for each other, because then they can really utilize the different talents from different associates. Why I'm telling you that? Coming to a very concrete situation. When I came to India first time, it was 2010. My head was full of lean production. I was very well experienced in that. And my colleagues in 2010, they looked at me and said, yes, Thomas, it's true what you're telling, but why should we do that? I could not answer this question, a simple question. And I realized if you are not able to explain what you want or what is the target of the team or even the company, then you fail. And the same was applicable for the setup we had with our KPIs. Who of you comes from production? Please raise your hand. Okay, who is familiar with a production meeting, what you normally have every morning? So, yeah, quite some. Then I will tell you the story. A normal production meeting is in the morning and you are reflecting on the day before. All the head of departments sitting there having their computer. You go through fancy graphs and KPIs, and your job is to defend yourself. is the so-called wasn't me effect. So we lost some volume, yeah, but it wasn't me, it was logistics. We have a bad quality, yeah, it wasn't me. There's a typical setup, and I can see here some people smiling. That is maybe not just a story. When I came to India the second time, I have realized this exactly the same setup. And he said, come on guys, when we are talking about yesterday, what is the benefit out of it? We cannot change the past. If we were able to change the past, we would not sit. So we turned this around. First rule was, do not use any computer. Second rule is, every information you give written on the wall, because it will be there. It is a commitment, it's a statement, and you know exactly what you're talking about. No fancy presentation. And then we are only talking about what will be the problem of tomorrow. What will be the problem of next week when I look into the supply chain? What would be the problem in 3 months' time? And if you do not have these borders, these artificial silos, and you tell your team, I don't care whose problem it is. I just care that all of you solving this problem that this gentleman will have in future, it's your responsibility. When we're talking about responsibilities and roles, we are very fine in that. We say, this is your responsibility, this is your role, this is your money you get for fulfilling this role. Yeah, what is then your interest to help your colleague? We all have different roles and different targets, but what is our common target? And I skipped 250 KPIs and 250 targets we had on that, because what is the reason for having a KPI and a target? When a manager has lost his overview, he's asking for more information or for more. If a manager is overviewing his process and understands his process, he don't need that. If I go through the shop floor, I don't need a KPI. I know exactly the situation. And this is something where we have just limited the goal of the plant to 3 KPIs: quality, time, and cost. The quality of our product, everyone contributes. The time is the adherence to our plan, and the plan is ambitious. And the cost is the production cost. And everyone, every single worker who cannot identify with these 3 simple targets has no job in this company, because everyone is a contributor. And all of a sudden, with these changes, they collaborate, they work together. When we started this journey, my job was to sell the plant, because the plant was too expensive. It was set up with a German precision and efficient on every part, but the overall system was expensive. With this approach of mastering the simplicity, we had a system in place where we have reduced the cost by 70%. And from then onwards, no one in Munich was re-questioning the plant again. It was set. Even better, other plants came to India to see what is the secret. And that is something that you only can achieve with a good team. But why I'm telling you that? I have learned my lesson. I spoke about paradigm shift. And my lesson was, you can be a master of production system. You can be a master of lean technique. It's worth nothing if you cannot reach the people and the people understand why they should do that and how we can do it on the simplest way. And here comes into play the common sense. The common sense, what I have experienced here in India, is raising the right question. Some people will say it's frugal engineering or whatever. No, it's very simple and easy. And this is why the book is called Elia, the Tamil word for simple and easy. And it's about a young lady who is entering the industry with a deep respect for the complexity of the company, and she does not understand what's going on. And her grandmother, who has never entered a plant, who has no clue about industry, giving her advice, out of her common sense, because all the problems we are having in our companies, we are having in our organizations, I can assure you this problem had some human before you, even 100 or 200 years back. It has nothing to do with modern industry. And the grandmother is explaining to this young lady, Pavitra, what is her life experience. And Pavitra is so smart to keep this up and to implement this into the company and re-questioning paradigm. For instance, we have one target in our company where we say this we need to deliver, otherwise Munich will be looking at us. But this target, just name it 100%, is this a maximum we can achieve? Nobody. In my first phase, I just asked for, can we go for 120%? Yes, sir, no problem. Yes, sir, no problem means I have 130 or 140% in my pocket and I give you 120% because I need for next year targeting increasing, I need another buffer. If you're not asking for something, if you're just saying, okay, the fun starts beyond the targets and everybody is giving the maximum, and you can create a situation where you have these Olympic ideas that I want to achieve more. I don't care about what my target is. I just want to be the best of the best with the help of my colleagues. That brought us to a situation to reduce 70% of the cost. Otherwise, it would not be possible. And these small examples are in the book and explained in a very simple way. And I highly recommend this to you to go through it because it's written out of practical experiences in a simple way. And that's the success story of BMW India Private Limited. And now we are the most complex or the most challenging plant within the BMW group because we are producing from Mini to 7 Series, X7. We produce every model. And this means we have a lot of flexibility. And this flexibility is always the outcome of looking of effectiveness and the process. This is a book, highly recommended, available on Amazon or available with money. And thank you very much for your attention.
On stage, Mrs. Dose, Dr. Suzanne Gimine, if you could also come on stage for this wonderful moment of honor. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give her a big Coimbatore welcome? A copy of the book has been given to Mr. E.K. Puraswamy and also handed over to M. Karthikeyan, the Managing Director of Suxma Dynamic Private Limited, President CODISSIA. Mr. E.K. Puraswamy, Chairman INTEC and President CODISSIA of Mr. M. Karthikeyan. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure we can do much, much better than that. Can we have a big round of applause for Mr. Thomas Dose? Thank you for the words, thank you for the vision, thank you for your thoughts, and thank you for talking about how we can unplug with so much with common sense. Ilya, simplicity personified. Ladies and gentlemen, special honor for Dr. Suzanne Gimine, Mrs. Dose. Thank you very, very much for joining us here today. A small memento on behalf of GMCV 2047 and INTEC. Thank you to the dignitaries on the dais. It's been a special address. Toyota University, he worked as a research associate in the Department of Robotics, Faculty of Science and Engineering at Rismukhon University. In 2003, he was appointed as lecturer in the same department while conducting research and development focused on implementing dynamic-based robotic engineering technologies, he founded Man-Machine Synergy Effectors Inc. in 2007. Following the Great East Japan earthquake, Dr. Kanoka felt deeply frustrated by the fact that robotic engineering technologies were not being sufficiently utilized at disaster sites. This experience motivated him to fully commit to expanding the business. As a declaration of this commitment, the company was renamed Jinki Itai Company Limited in 2015. Dr. Kanoka also devised an original problem-solving service and business model called Jinki Platform, which leverages intellectual property to promote the social implementation of human-machine synergy effectors, advanced system design to maximize collaboration between humans and machine. Dr. Kanoka has constantly championed global manufacturing collaboration, technological advancement, and industrial innovation across international markets. Sir, may we now request you to please deliver the presidential address. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Kanoka with a warm round of applause.
Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for introducing me. Well, here, I believe, I guess, I'm the only Japanese here. So, no matter what I do in Japan, no one will know it's a lie. So, of course, everything I'm about to say is true. Let's start. Good afternoon, business leaders and innovators. It's an incredible honor to deliver the presidential address here at the 12th edition of GMCV 2047, a pivotal conference looking ahead to the great milestone of India's 100th anniversary of independence. I'd like to express my deepest gratitude to Mr. Ike Ponnuswamy, Chairman of INTEC 2026, and Mr. Kaskian, President of CODISSIA, and all the members of CODISSIA and all the guests here for inviting me as your chief guest and for your tireless efforts in driving India's industrial growth. It's precisely because this place is so full of history and energy that I'm convinced that our real technology that grasps the future, which we have been developing, should be implemented here next after my homeland, Japan. I'm Dr. Kanoka, the founder and president of Man-Machine Synergy Effectors Incorporated, also known as Jinki in Japanese. I hold a PhD in robotics. However, the pronunciation of my name Kanaoka might be unfamiliar and difficult for you to remember, so I have a proposal. Please call me Dr. Steele. Why Dr. Steele? Because if you compress the two kanji characters of my name, Kanaoka, into a single character, it becomes Hagane. Hagane means steel in Japanese. Please remember that we at Jinki implement advanced robotics into society with a wheel of steel. Dr. Steele, easy to remember, isn't it? And above all, it sounds quite cool. Now, let's fast forward the clock to 2047. India is celebrating 100 years of independence and has become the world's largest and smartest manufacturing hub. The intelligence of the shop floor has reached its peak, and highly advanced AI is continuously optimizing the digital space. But what about the physical world right in front of us? Scorching foundries, handling molten metal, high voltage bullet train power lines, unpredictable disaster recovery sites. No matter how much digital technology evolves, this unforgiving physical world and the severe labor endured by humans will remain. Today, many companies are trying to eliminate humans through AI automation. However, it is impossible for AI to make autonomous decisions for everything. What the world needs now is a new concept that physically extends human will. and completely protects humans from danger. That is precisely our core concept, man-machine synergy. We have constructed a system that completely synchronizes human strength with the robot's capability. As of 2026, this system is already socially implemented in Japan, operating on the front lines of infrastructure maintenance. Simply put, a Jinki equipped with our technology acts like a magic wand. With just the right touch, you can move it exactly as you intend, allowing you to harness the robot's superhuman strength as if it were your own capability. This is a prototype of our robotic heavy machinery, Jinki with the magic wand. As you can see, it allows an operator to intuitively control a multi-joint, high-power robot. The live feed from the robot's head camera is projected onto the operator's HMD, providing an immersive experience as if you have actually possessed the robot's body. Furthermore, while the operator's force is amplified and transmitted to the robot, the external forces acting on the robot's arms are fed back to the operator in real time. Well, next, I'd like to introduce some examples of advanced robots that our Jinki has actually developed in collaboration with major infrastructure companies in Japan, which are already being implemented in society. First is the railway sector. This is how electrical equipment maintenance on elevated railway tracks is currently performed. Humans still climb up to high places bare-bodied, performing heavy labor under the risk of falling or receiving electric shocks. It was difficult to mechanize this using conventional methods, but we successfully mechanized this process by developing a Jinki specifically for high-altitude work. The dual cameras mounted on the robot's head track the operator's head movements. This enables natural stereoscopic vision in all directions and active visual sensing. This is what the cockpit looks like. This is the high-precision force sensor, and just by applying force to the control sticks on the operator's side robot arms, you can operate the system intuitively. As you can see, a humanoid upper body robot is mounted at the end of a long boom, which is the operator controls intuitively. The operator remains safe inside the cabin, as I said, performing the intuitive maneuvers, handling an unknown single object with both hands, as shown here, is a task that simply cannot be achieved without high-precision force control, which is our original technology. Furthermore, the robot can interact with humans through force feedback directly like this. This enables seamless collaborative work between human workers and robots directly on the job site. Based on this prototype technology, a product was commercialized by Nippon Signal, a major manufacturer in Japan. This commercial product is called Jizai, and it has already been put to work on site since July 2024. This is not a test. It is being used for actual maintenance on the railway. This marks the world's first time that such humanoid heavy machinery is being used at a railway maintenance site. We have cutting tool, grasping tool, painting tool, and electric driver tool. So this Jinki can do painting, cutting trees, even in the night. Next is civil engineering. In earthquake-prone Japan, an enormous amount of seismic retrofitting work is being carried out on highways built during the high economic growth period. Enforcement members, like the one shown here, are installed, and this single piece weighs about 700 kilograms. Although a crane is used to lift it, the highway girders act as obstacles, making it impossible to lift any higher. Therefore, beyond this point, it must be lifted by human power. Furthermore, inserting bolts into the holes of the seismic reinforcement member to install it is also done manually. It is an immense struggle, and with the current method, it takes about 120 minutes to install just one piece. To handle such ultra-heavy objects in the 1-ton class with fine precision, we adopted a special structure, the Stuart platform. By properly controlling its 6 cylinders, this mechanism allows the top plate to move freely in 6 directions, X, Y, Z, roll, pitch, yaw. By implementing this, we made it possible for humans to assemble a 1-ton seismic reinforcement member with a single hand, using just their fingertips, as if assembling Lego blocks. This is the actual machine. By mounting the Stuart platform at the top of a 16-ton crane boom, 1-ton class seismic reinforcement members can now be handled without manual labor. We have already conducted demonstration experiments for installing actual highway seismic reinforcement members jointly with Takenaka Civil Engineering, a major Japanese civil engineering firm, and achieved perfect success. This is the whole process to install actual highway seismic reinforcement members. Approaching by the crane, then approaching by the Stuart platform, precise pegging hole with force feedback, and attached. You can control the manipulator by the same operation with switching mode. It takes about 10 minutes only for all installation. It's more than 10 times faster than the conventional method. Next is the material handling of heavy objects inside factories. This is an electric wire drum handling operation inside the factory of a major Japanese electric wire manufacturer. Each of these wire drums weighs 2 tons, yet, shockingly, they are handled by human power, and inevitably, accidents occur where people get caught or crushed. Therefore, to freely handle these ton-class wire drums, we developed a robot called the Jinky cart. This is an omnidirectional vehicle type robot. Because it incorporates Jinky's technology, this is no ordinary AGV. A person can freely manipulate a 1-ton wire drum in all directions with a single fingertip. If it carries a 1-ton wire drum and even on a slope, it moves in the exact same way as this. With this, transporting heavy objects inside narrow factories becomes effortless. This type of vehicle-based heavy material handling robot is also a world first. Omnidirectional. Finally, let's look at the general purpose factory work robot, one that is ready to use right now. Normally, to introduce such a robot into a factory, you would commission a system integrator, spending an immense amount of time and cost for implementation. And even then, it could only perform a single task. However, once installed, this robot is plug and play. You can start using it just like a household appliance without any adjustments. And as you can see, it can execute any task that is physically possible for it to perform, far more intuitively than any conventional operated robot, utilizing its full operating range. Furthermore, bidirectional force control is implemented in this manner, enabling the exchange of forces. This means it can flexibly perform unstructured tasks on the fly. such as assembling unknown target objects. This is also our proprietary technology. In fact, by configuring it as a dual arm type like this, it can perform highly dexterous work using both hands. At a glance, the movements of both sides look different. However, once you get used to it, it can be operated very intuitively. This is also our proprietary technology. Although the scale of the robot is relatively small right now, the robot on the working side can be scaled up to any size, and the operational field remains unchanged, no matter how large it gets. It can effortlessly handle any heavy labor with great flexibility. Now, I'd like to talk about two specific cases of how Jinki's technology can eliminate severe labor here in India. The first case is the field of the foundry industry. Inside foundry plants, workers constantly deal with scorching molten metal, intense dust, heavy material handling, removing parts from molds, and harsh deburring operations. What would happen if we introduced our force-controlled robots here? Artisans in a clean room realistically feel the metal's hardness and grinding vibrations. They can safely apply their long-standing skills using the robot's high power from a distance. This protects workers from danger while multiplying the value of master craftsmanship, realizable right now. The second case is the application to the infrastructure maintenance of the Indian high-speed rail, a national project that India is currently advancing together with Japan. However, what awaits after its opening is a new era of severe labor, the massive maintenance of bridges, overhead lines, and tunnels spanning thousands of kilometers. By integrating our Jinki into this infrastructure, humans will no longer need to climb to dangerous heights. There is no longer any need to perform dangerous heavy labor. By using our technology, we can perfectly maintain the safety of the high-speed rail without exposing the life of a single working laborer to danger. This is the last slide. In the manufacturing industry of 2047, we must build a hybrid workforce where humans and machines truly coexist. To achieve this, we need the absolute synergy of three elements: the human will that provides purpose, AI that expands human cognition, and Jinki, which translates that will into overwhelming physical power. This triad creates a zero-risk workplace by fundamentally eliminating physical risks from the site. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Kanoka. Coimbatore love their cars. Looks like you're on a mission that we're going to be loving robotics. I request you to please stay back on stage. I request Vice Chairman, INTEC 2026, Mr. R. Ramamurthy, Project Director, GMCV, Mr. D.K. Karthikeyan, if you could please come forward to honor our chief guest for the presidential address with robots and make them work for humankind. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to Dr. Kanoka. He had us in spellbound moment. A memento from Coimbatore for gracing us here at the 12th edition of the Global Manufacturing Cluster Vision 2047. Insightfully moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, we now arrive at one of the most anticipated IVIL brings together accomplished industry leaders who represent innovation, strategic growth, transformational leadership, and future-ready manufacturing excellence. We moving down for our first panel member. It is Dr. Vishwas Ramdas Puriki, CEO and Director, MS Solution, a subsidiary of Ace Designers Limited, Bangalore. We invite him on stage. Dr. Vishwas Ramadas Purigi is a technologist, entrepreneur and innovator with deep expertise in advanced manufacturing and automation. Holding a PhD in automation adaptive control system from UNSW Australia, he has built a distinguished career spanning research, product development and industrial innovation. As CEO and Director of AMES Solution, he has led the development of one of India's first industrial-grade metal additive manufacturing systems, earning the National Startup Award 2022 in the 3D printing category. A TEDx speaker, quality systems expert and academic contributor, Dr. Purigi is also a passionate advocate for innovation, engineering excellence and lifelong learning. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dr. Vishwas Ramadas Purigi, CEO Director, AMES Solutions. 140 crore in revenue while expanding its workforce to over 400 employees. With a strong focus on innovation, people development and long-term value creation, he actively contributes to strengthening Indian manufacturing. Drawing from both hands-on leadership and generational business insights, he advocates balancing legacy, strengths with modern management practices, technology adoption, and responsible leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Karthik, Executive Director, Precision Machine and Auto Components Private Limited, Chennai. Our next panel member is Mr. Varun Dev, Chief Executive Officer of UCAM Private Limited, Bengaluru. Varun Dev is a forward-thinking business leader and CEO of UCAM Private Limited, a leading Indian manufacturer of CNC rotary tables, index tables, precision machines, tool accessories with a strong foundation in engineering and global business leadership, including an MBA from HTW Berlin. He combines strategic vision with operational excellence to drive innovation and growth. Since joining UCAM in 2020, he has rapidly progressed through key leadership roles, culminating in his appointment as CEO in 2025. Recognized among the 24th of 2024 transformative leaders, Varun is committed to advancing precision manufacturing and strengthening India's position in global market. Let's welcome Mr. Varun Dev, Chief Executive Officer, UCAM Private Limited, Bengaluru. Our next panel member is Mr. Ashutosh Kothari, Director and Deputy CEO of Ashutosh Rubber Private Limited, Rajkot, Gujarat. Mr. Ashutosh brings together technical expertise in rubber technology and strategic business acumen through his MBA in marketing. With extensive experience in the rubber and TPE manufacturing industry, he has been instrumental in driving business growth, brand development and market expansion, a strong advocate of innovation and customer-centric thinking. He leads the company's marketing, branding and business development initiative across domestic and international market. Under his leadership, the organization continues to strengthen its global presence, foster strategic partnership and pursue sustainable innovation-led growth. We welcome Mr. Ashutosh Kothari, Director and Deputy Director of Ashutosh Rubber Private Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, it's also a pleasure to welcome our panel moderator. This is Dr. Beena, Director, Happy Valley Business School. She is a distinguished academic leader, educator and management professional with over 30 years of experience in higher education. As the co-founder and director of Happy Valley Business School, Coimbatore, she has been instrumental in shaping industry-focused management education since 2007. Dr. Beena is an electronics and communication engineer with an MPhil and PhD in management, and her expertise spans marketing, data analytics, research, and academic leadership. A respected corporate trainer, consultant, and speaker, she actively contributes to educational governance, entrepreneurship, and women's empowerment initiative. Her impact work has earned her numerous national and international recognitions, including being named among the top 50 global women leaders. She is going to be moderating this panel discussion today, which is again, let's welcome her with a big round of applause. Dr. Beena T, Director, Happy Valley Business School.
Thank you, Mr. Solomon. Thank God it's a 1-hour session. Otherwise, you've taken up nearly 45% or 50% of the time. Thank you so much for those very wonderful introductions, and it's my pleasure to be the moderator for today. I think we've had a very wonderful session. We've been talking about intelligence in manufacturing. I only wish we bring this intelligence to something more complex, and that's entrepreneurship. And I'm sure we are going to get some inputs from these 4 panelists here. Entrepreneurship and Coimbatore, I guess, is nothing new. But I think entrepreneurship is a little too romanticized, is it not? We have been hearing stories of how things started in garages and had some, say, 1,000 rupees in the pocket, and this 1,000 rupees became 1,000 crores. If it is a Rajinikanth movie, it's 5 minutes, otherwise it's maybe 10 or 20 years. You know, just like a novel, it ends with happily ever after. All married men and women have heard this before, but we know it's happily never after sometimes. So what we're going to do is we stop with part 1 and we say that everything is fine. But Coimbatore always does. The organizers have dared to go into part 2. And that part 2 is your second generation entrepreneurship, because it need not be happily ever after, it need not be rosy. But then looking at these 4 panelists, I think it is always happily ever after. So just a few statistics. Basically, I'm a teacher, and I'm a statistics teacher. So without numbers, my evening is not done. And therefore, I shall throw in a few numbers. Of course, most of you know that. We all know that 30% of the family businesses transition into the second generation, only 12% into the third generation, and just believe you me, it's just 4% into the fourth generation. And 88% of business owners, I mean the family, maybe the father, the entire family, feel that their family members will take over. But then they are in for a shock because only 30% of them make it to the second generation. So just imagine the gap. Now, just for some more perspective, before we start the panel discussion, I take you back to history. I'm sure all of us are aware of Rajaraja Chola, a great father who created a great empire. But Rajendra Chola, his son, multiplied it 10x times, 100x times. We have heard of Henry Ford Sr. He handed over the company to Henry Ford Jr., but in between there was somebody else who was his son. Henry Ford Jr. was his grandson. The son was Edsel, but none of us have heard of him much maybe. The reason being, somewhere the father did not trust his son, but trusted his grandson better. Of course, we have our own stories of Ambani. Dhirubhai Ambani created an empire, gave it to Mukesh and Anil. We are talking about Mukesh, Anil well, but I guess his son is doing well. And what about maybe Vittal Mallya? He thought he had a very flamboyant son who could take his business to great heights. Well, he did for some time. He is nowhere to be seen. And Siddharth Mallya, hello, where are you? Nobody knows. So this is the state of affairs today, and some more statistics. So all this is not to give you a dismal statement of what's happening. Some more statistics, and then we shall start. Family businesses represent, I was shocked when I heard this, 2/3 of the global GDP and 60% of global jobs. And in India, we are always one step ahead. Family-owned businesses contribute approximately 79% of India's national GDP and approximately 60% of market capitalization. And nearly 80% of Indian businesses are family-owned. So I guess it is more a necessity to have a discussion today with some of the scions of family businesses across India. I will get there, but then if I'm there, I think it's only my side post which is seen. So I thought whatever I need to talk, I will talk here. Just to wake you up, I've never sung in my whole life, but then I'm going to sing 2 lines for you. It's from a Hindi movie 40 years ago, Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak. It opened like this. The song went like this. Papa kehte hai bada naam karega, Beta hamara aisa kaam karega. I know my singing is so bad that I'm stopping here, but what did it mean? Thank you. So it says, my son will do something so remarkable that we will all be proud of him. And here we have 4 scions of family businesses. They've had opportunities and they've had pressures. Did they live up to their expectations, or did they meet expectations or exceeded their expectations? Let us find out. Coming back again to where I started, I'm a teacher. I can do 2 things perfectly. Advice, question. Advice, no. So question, yes. So I shall have a series of questions I have prepared. Questions are the easiest thing that you can do. So that's what I have done, and I shall take my seat there. I shall ask questions, make them comfortable or uncomfortable in this hot seat, I'm not very sure. But I'm sure with a few minutes of my interaction, this 1 hour is going to be a superb takeaway session for all of us. I will meet you there. So when I was having this interaction with these 4 panelists here, there was Mr. Karthik who said, I'm basically from Coimbatore, whereas all the others are from Bangalore, Chennai, and Gujarat. So I thought it's good to be biased, is it not? So let me start from Coimbatore. So Mr. Karthik, first generation entrepreneurs build business. And second generation entrepreneurs have to hear only this. You're going to take it over, you're going to take over, but don't change anything in the business. Have you heard it before?
Initially, yes, for some time. And later, once the confidence was there, and they let go.
So have you heard this before? That initially they were reluctant and then they let go? Well, if you think this was the first question and that was the first answer, this was just a tester. And now we will start with the questions. We will start with the senior most here. When I say the senior most, he is Dr. Vishwas. And doctor, this is the question for you. It's a long question. There is a contrast between the founder's hunger born out of necessity and the successor's motivation born out of opportunity and responsibility. Do you want me to repeat this? This is motivational asymmetry, and it is called the hunger deficit. When you took over your family business, or rather you were telling me that you're one of the members of the board, what kind of entrepreneurial hunger deficit did you have, and how were you planning to make it up?
I think it's a brilliant question. In my opinion, what I've come to believe, leadership in any generation, be it first, second, or later, hunger is something that I've always valued the most for any leader to prosper. It doesn't have to be just in leadership. It could be sports. It could be any other platform. So it's a big challenge today amongst next generation, where we see that motivation lacking, that hunger, that fire in the belly lacking. But I was fortunate in my younger days. I had a big example, my father. I've always looked up to him as a hero, always emulated him, always wanted to be like him. Not an entrepreneur, but do things like him. So I've always had that in mind. So when I was given an opportunity to come back and I wouldn't say take over, but be a part of the larger responsibility or the platform, something that was always told to me remained very strong in my mind, that as second generation or next generation leaders, we are not actually owners, but we are custodians of a much larger platform, which we have an onus to make it even bigger and pass it on to generations next. So we get to be like priests who get to be closer to God but not own the God. We just are privy to better blessings maybe, but not to say claim ownership of it. So it is a big responsibility on all of us. So that kept me going, because when they started, for them it was the foundation as a mindset, but for us it is growth and sustenance. So that was something that kept me going.
That's really wonderful. Dr. Vishwas, you were a part of the family, but then you said that you had taken a detour, you've now come away, you've started your own vertical. Could you tell them about your journey? Because that is something which doesn't happen in family businesses. They do not let go. So how did they let you go?
So, well, for us, we belong to a group where we have multiple founding families. So we are a family owned, and we were a family run group until we realized that it's not right for any one of the family members to be leading, or one or two of the family members to be leading. So we figured it's rather better to have professionals run the show, while we as family members could be more in the supportive role, and we all, as the next generation, the second generation, decided to do that, and which we continue to do. While that happened, I had an opportunity where disruption came as an opportunity, and we said we could either look at stand as mere bystanders and just ignore it, or try to see if we can adopt it, absorb it, and then grow from that. So to make that happen, I had to actually get back into the mainstream leadership role, had to learn a completely new technology, which was additive manufacturing, which was totally new, quite new to India and totally new to us from a manufacturing perspective. It needed a lot of learning, a lot of discussions with German institutes like Fraunhofer and many other European companies to learn from. We were blessed with good set of people, experienced people who joined us, and then we said, let's take on that mainstream responsibilities. I stepped out from the mainstream from an operational role, and then took on a leadership role at the newer startup, which came as a complementary technology today for the mainstream. So that's what I've been doing for the past 8+ years in Amaze Solutions.
I just happened to hear, I'm not very sure, but then his family business is worth more than 10,000 crores. And to let go of somebody like you and give it to a professional is no easy task. And I think that's one lesson that we should also take from your journey there.
I think sometimes we as a family, we believe we know it best and we can run it best. I think that's a misnomer or misconception we all have. It's incidental that probably our fathers or parents started it well. We may not have necessarily be the best ones. So as we all say, the best person should lead, not necessarily a family person. It's always a challenge, dilemma between the first and second generation, while one feels it should be a family-owned and a family-run organization, while others may feel a family-owned but a professionally run organization may be a better one. So it's always a catch-22.
Yeah, Coimbatore, here. This is something which we really need to utilize. Thank you so much, Dr. Vishwas. And this is for Mr. Karthik. People often say first generation entrepreneurs build the business and the second generation scales it. How true has that been in your journey? What is harder in today's environment? Starting a company from scratch or scaling an organization? How has it been in your organization?
Good question. So typically in my case, so I joined the business in 2005, and I had the opportunity to inherit many of the things, like the platform was available, it was well set, there was a esteemed set of customers, and to take it from there, it is really a head start. When you have to do it from scratch, it's quite a lot of effort which you have to put in. You have to earn the respect from the customer. They need to acknowledge. But when you really inherit, when you are a second generation, there are certain things already available for you, and that really helped me to get to that level. But luckily, when I joined in my company, I never joined as an executive director as today I'm in. So I was given the opportunity to work in various departments across my company, try to understand where we are good, where we are bad, and try to understand those and earn the respect on the shop floor, in the office, with the customers, and that really helped me to take the company to the next level.
That's the Tata way also. You start from the ground floor and then move up to the penthouse.
Yes. So we did the same. I had an opportunity to do the same.
And so who's taking the next question? Let it be in the order in which people are seated here. So Mr. Varun, in many business families, some of the most valuable lessons aren't taught in boardrooms. They are around the dining tables, through conversations, observations, and shared experiences. This is a very tacit transfer of knowledge, and it has a very unique competitive advantage. In today's changing world, do you think that would help you be a step ahead when compared to people who run their businesses professionally?
Actually, I totally agree with you. Just to go to the past. My entire journey through my childhood, I've seen my parents in the dining table. Both of them are into the family business, my father and my mother. So as I grew up through my childhood, I've seen them talk about business discussions while I'm having breakfast, lunch or dinner. And what happens is that over a period of time, you gain those business ideas and financial knowledge about various different things. So after my education, I went and worked in other organizations. And my manager there was very curious how I knew so many different things, like how I knew finance or how I knew business or engineering. So they didn't really understand where I was coming from until I actually told them. So in today's age, I feel that while we have latest technologies and processes and systems, I feel that we still need to have that debate, that conversation, that interaction and that debate with different perspectives from finance, sales, or a value system. Well, they bring in company values and family values into a business organization. So that's very important, especially in an Indian context, is what I feel.
So your weekends were not to movies and to parks, but to your family offices, means family business offices, or how was it?
Not really. It depends. Like sometimes we used to go on a vacation and we used to have a business conversation even during a vacation.
Either it's a business trip or a business conversation. Exactly. Because in our institution, when we bring companies for placement, if a boy says that I come from an entrepreneur's family, they are not given a job because they feel that the secret might be taken away, or they feel that they might not continue in the business. So you also answered that question saying you did not disclose that fact. So maybe that is the reason why you picked up something from the organization that you worked for.
Yeah, actually, I went abroad to other machine tool companies, and I didn't reveal that I was from a family business. It's also important that in India, when you work in your family business, you are like the owner's son. But it's really important that you get exposure in an international environment where your name means nothing. And that's when you really learn how to deal different scenarios.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Varun and Mr. Ashutosh. I think when our parents were born, or rather when entrepreneurs are born first, they are not born with any spoon at all. And then the second generation comes in with a silver spoon, and slowly that can even become a golden or a platinum spoon. These changes, but what about mindset? Do you think a mindset shift is required when you get into business? Because the mindset for your family or your father who started the business would have been very different when compared to your mindset. So how do you manage this mindset shift?
Very, very good question. Thank you. So in my case, if I just roll on to the entire journey of Ashutosh Rubber, where I come from, like my father was not born with a silver spoon or a golden spoon. His father forced him that you are done with your engineering, you need to, set up something. You want to work somewhere, you go for some years, but you are coming back and, establishing some of the other manufacturing out here in Rajkot. So he did, after his BE and ME and everything, he did research that what was the need of an hour. So at that time, as rubber was one of the key products, and then he started with rubber manufacturing out there, which was rather, if I would say, we were the first ones in Gujarat to, come up with such a company. Now, as I was born, I already got a silver spoon, and I was privileged that from maybe 7th or 8th grade, I used to, visit the factory and look at the surroundings, meet my staff members, the workers, and touch and feel of the machines like one of the sitting here, almost everyone would have done. Now, that gave me okay, I need to, pursue this, I need to take this forward. And that helped me to take the business ahead. And now what I see is growing the business ahead from here is equally equally, what you say, difficult as it was maybe at my father's time, because the challenges then and now are totally different. And to sustain in this current situation is more difficult. But through continuous growth, continuous AI, technology, new things coming up, and maintaining the systems, we are able to, do it in a professional way. Yeah.
No, when somebody says Gujarat, there are three things which come to mind. One is diamonds, textiles, and Modi.
Yeah, absolutely.
So why rubber? And how rubber?
So, as I said, that at the time when my father started 40 years back, he met, if you know Rajkot, one of the very good competitors to Coimbatore, because we are one of the good pump manufacturers, and Coimbatore is one of the best pump manufacturers. So now we research that what a pump manufacturer or oil engine manufacturer would require. So then he came to know that most of the rubber parts were coming out of Gujarat. So maybe from Delhi, maybe from somewhere else. Now to compete to rubber part, then he was not having such knowledge at that time. But as my grandfather forced him, and he was blessed with that vision at that time, that let it be anything, I will support you. I don't know technically, but I will support you, and you flourish in some other business. So then eventually selected this field, and now I got privilege to study rubber, and now we are taking it ahead. Yeah.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
So being a doctorate, again, the biggest question is for you, Dr. Vishwas. Second generation entrepreneurs often begin with advantages that founders had to spend decades building. Capital, customers, credibility, supplier relationships, and of course, market access. This is also called privileged access advantage. How have you leveraged this privileged access, not merely to maintain the business, but to innovate and create new value? You said you have diverted. Did you use that in your new business? Did it help you? And if so, how?
Absolutely. So, like you rightly said, for the first generation, it was always about existential crisis. I mean, will we even exist? Will we even break even? Will we even be able to see that light at the end of the tunnel? But when we came out, we had a little more risk appetite. We had a backing, we had a safety net. Though we didn't have to go out for capital, we were funded from the parent company. We had other challenges. We had things that we had to learn on our own. But like you rightly said, we had access to market. Well, one of the challenges also is that we assume that having about 5,000 customers, we will have easy access to the end customer or to be able to grow. But we realized that the market was totally different. The ones who would look at the conventional manufacturing are totally different compared to what a new technology would be. So it needed us to learn the whole cycle of technology development, and again do the whole thing again. So the things that were easier for us was access to capital, the reach, because we had a platform, we had our own marketing network who would reach out to customers better. So we did not find that as challenging as how it used to be with our parent companies.
So you accept you were privileged?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. So who would like to take the next question? I would not like to go like this itself, if you wish. Whoever is comfortable. Yeah.
You can ask the question and then we decide.
Whichever is the easiest will be taken up, is it? Okay. So, what's more challenging? Customers, employees, or family expectations?
I would not say it is only one direction, either it's customers or family. Everything has its own expectations, but I feel that today the dynamics are different, and today every day is a new day for us. And yeah, you have to meet the customers' expectations to meet the family expectations. So yeah, so it's customers' expectation first, and you meet the customer expectations, you meet the family expectation. That's what I see.
Really? I need to meet your father. It's always, two big shoes to fill. However big your feet are, however big your shoes are, it is never too, it's never too big to fit your dad's shoes.
Yeah, but in my case, because when we sit in the board of directors meeting, I certainly feel that when the industry, when the doing well, that means as a CEO, as an executive director, we are taking the business to a good shape and a good position, and that's where the family feels comfortable and better.
Good. So the next question is, every family business says, we have done it this way. What tradition did you challenge and what was the outcome?
So basically, when a family says we have done it this way, initially when they're scaling or when they're small, there's one hero who's done it all. He's done it like this. When you want to scale to the next level, it's not only about that one person and that one thought process. It's more about systems, processes, and it's about what strategy you're going to implement. There's always going to be a debate, but finally we need to align on the common goal, that is to scale to the next level. So I feel that's the way forward in general.
What was that moment, when your parents realized that, oh, my boy has become a man and I need to listen to him?
So, when one or two decisions goes well, right? And then they know that, okay, he's confident.
Just one, with respect to what?
Okay. So I think I led something like digital transformation in my organization, and it went pretty well. So that was one very confident thing that gained my own self-confidence. The second was product diversification that we did that kind of helped gain new technologies, scale up, and bring in revenue.
Being a digital native, whatever you say about digital transformation, our poor parents will have to believe you. And you just won your case in point.
I mean, you got to use your strengths, right?
Yeah, of course. And so, Mr. Ashutosh, what has been your biggest contribution to the business that truly reflects your generation's thinking?
So when I joined obviously as we are the owner's son, we enter as the owner's son, but we only know what practically is going in within us. So when I joined, I was handed over with a cabin. Okay, you can sit here, you have a car, you can go. But with all this comes, your responsibility. So we are established, we have a foundation. I go in the market, as I had done my marketing in MBA in marketing. So I was told that, okay, as Gujarat, you just told that it is flourishing state. So you go in the market, get new customers. You know what is Ashutosh Rubber. So I told, yeah, I know, absolutely. Since my childhood, I am seeing Ashutosh Rubber, but practically representing Ashutosh Rubber is altogether a different case. So again, I am saying, I always say to my employees as well, the designation for me is just name, because you need to sit at a staff member's position or a worker's place, or say it be any department, to understand practically how the things are going. If you don't know that, you cannot sit in front of a customer and discuss practically. So as all these things were going on, then eventually we came up with a lot of clarity that it is not that everything is to be poured over this young guy. You need to divide the roles. And now as my younger brother is also joining in, my wife is also joining in, we feel more effective, that because if you are working in single department or say a clear goal, then you put in your more efforts towards that. And in my case, practically, we were already doing some of the automotive segment work, but scaling up that and taking it to the next level was added advantage which came through me.
So they say 3 is a crowd, but in your case, it seems to be an advantage.
Absolutely. And even now, if I see my son, he looks at me, and as you know, nowadays the kids are, you might be aware that they're so curious. we feel that we are not only liable or answerable to the founding members, but we need to answer and take the company ahead with respect to the vision of, the curious third generation coming up.
Great. So one thing that I think we have found from this group of panelists is that I think they've done their exams well in their schools and colleges. They have never passed any questions. They gave elaborate answers. So I think they've been used to detailed questions and answers. Just to break the monotony, I thought I should have a few questions to the crowd too. What do you think? This is to the audience here. Should second generation leaders preserve culture or challenge it? One or two. Preserve culture or challenge it? Okay. Challenge. So the others are all for preserving it. This mix is always easy, sir. 50-50 is easy, mix is easy, but mixing it is very difficult.
Sorry. The Chinese have already proven that they are very vociferous about it. That we don't want to let go of our culture. We want to challenge mighty countries like US with the strength of our culture. But they always forget. Here we are sitting here, a vestige of Indus Valley. We are much older, which of course nobody is acknowledging. But some say that Western world has got a positive proof that the origin of the intelligent man coming from ape starts somewhere from here, maybe starting from Iran up to here, somewhere here. So, well, they're trying to challenge that also. So we should never let go of the culture. That is the foundation of all of our engineering strength. And
point well taken.
That is the point, that is the foundation of Dharma. All of this engineering advancement is for Dharma, not for fighting each other, not for saying that I am the superpower. There is no superpower. Sorry, I don't want to go on.
No, I just wanted to know whether you're taking culture or challenging it, that's it.
Both
so
are
you
required.
say we need to have a mix, but it should be an optimum mix, and let us find the proportion.
Yeah, both are required. Both are for each other.
Thank you, sir. Which one is more difficult? Succeeding a successful father or starting independently? Succeeding a successful father or starting on your own? Which one is easier? I'm not asking the question.
No, you should ask how many second generation people in the crowd, that would make them more...
Yeah, so no answers? So then if that is the case, I go back to questioning you people again.
I think starting for us is good, what I feel, because we follow the same route without taking any diversion. This is my view.
So the road less taken is easier and better.
Though it so cynically easy.
Yeah. There are different viewpoints, and I guess that's yours.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
There is a saying in Tamil, it says, "Ikkarikku akkara pacha," which means that when you succeed your father, you think that, oh, I should have started my own. And if you started your own, you would have think, oh, I would have probably, taken my father's reign.
The grass is definitely greener on the other side. So let's move from your family to you. So again, Dr. Vishwas, do you believe today's younger leaders think differently from the founder generation? In what ways? And how do you manage it? My father still talks about that 1 rupee, and I've not even seen a 1 rupee coin for long. So how do you manage that?
Yeah, definitely. Today's generation, they're thinking differently, at least the ones who are doing well. They're looking at innovation. They're looking at, like Varun said, digitalization. They're looking at bringing in newer technologies. I'm sure a lot of applications of automation and AI is being explored by newer generation. They're looking at diversification, be it geography, diversification, be it technology or markets. So I definitely see the newer generation is thinking differently, or they should be thinking differently if they look at scaling up. So I think it is necessary to be thinking from a growth perspective.
So you mean innovation is something which you people think of, the second generation? Because I don't even like to call, most of you as second generation entrepreneurs. Because I feel you're all just second generation leaders or business managers. You've been managing your father's business. Entrepreneur is different. Entrepreneurship is different. Maybe, yes, you've taken a different route, definitely. Yeah, thank you. Mr. Karthik, how important is external exposure? Maybe a global education, as Mr. Varun was talking about, or a corporate experience before entering the family business. Do you think that's important, or just jump into business?
I would say external is certainly important. So it helps you to scale. So when it comes to scalability, so when you work somewhere else, be it a large business, you get exposure, especially to understand how the business has scaled and how the business is professionally well managed. So I feel that yes, it gives all a new experience, and that's important.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Karthik. And one of you can take this question. Beyond financial capital, what emotional capital did your parents leave behind that has been most valuable to you? So financial capital is always there. Emotional capital. And what is emotional capital? It is the intangible wealth a person, family, or business accumulates through trust, relationships, values, reputation, goodwill, credibility, etc. over time. So which one has been handed over to you? Or both of you can answer the same question.
Okay, one thing that I feel is the word that you give in a business discussion. If you say something, you have to do it. So that's like something that we always have to keep in mind, and that's the value system that's been driven. So if you tell your employees that I'm going to do this, then you follow up and get that done. So that's very important, or with your customer or with your supplier.
So not breaking a promise, but keeping your word. Yes, Mr. Ashutosh.
And emotional, intangible, the essence which our parents missed, and what we have an advantage is, at those times, the founding members were not very much maybe seeking the work-life balance as which is need of an hour today. If today we almost all of us, maybe people in the audience as well, will agree with me that if the work-life balance is not as much as it was then it is difficult to scale up or maybe get along the family, because the family time is as well more important with the current generation coming ahead, what I feel.
So I was given this tip that I should stop at 5 minutes, so I will conclude here. So wherever you start, I've been asked to conclude, so let me come back to my original position. Well, today's conversation has shown us that the journey of a second-generation entrepreneur is far more complex than simply taking over a business. It's about balancing, they say, legacy with innovation, privilege with responsibility, and tradition with transformation. I love Peter Drucker's quotes, and therefore I have to use it. The greatest danger in times of turbulence is not the turbulence. It is to act with yesterday's logic. Perhaps that's the defining challenge of the second generation leaders here. Not to abandon yesterday, but to build on it while preparing for tomorrow. The businesses that endure are those that respect their roots without being rooted in the past. So in short, they say, legacy may open the door, but leadership determines whether the next generation can build another floor or many floors. So to the panel members, I only hope the questions were not too difficult, but all of you passed with flying colors as a teacher, 100 on 100. Thank you, esteemed speakers and the audience, for being part of this very engaging session. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give the panel the loudest applause that we've heard today. Come on, everyone. It was candid, simple, and straight to the point. I request the panel members and the moderator to stay back on stage. We invite the president of CODISSIA. We also, along with the chairman and vice chairman of INTEC 2026 and director of Texas Ventures, to please come on stage. The president of CODISSIA, Mr. M. Karthikeyan, TK Karthikeyan, if you could please be on stage to honor our respective panel members. To start with, we're going to start with Dr. Beena, who conducted the panel like a teacher. Like a teacher should. Round of applause for Vishwas. Karthik being honored. Applause for Mr. Ashutosh Kothari. And Mr. Varun Dev, our panel member. Vishwas Pruthigi, Senior Director of MA Solution. Being honored Mr. Karthik, Executive at Precision Machine and Auto Competence Private Limited. Varun Dev, Chief Executive of GCAM Private Limited. Mr. Ashutosh Kothari, Director and Deputy CEO of Ashutosh Rubber Private Limited. It's time for the mementos. As Mr. E.K. Buruswamy hands over the memento to Dr. Vishwas Ramdas Purigi. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Dr. Vishwas. It's time for the memento to Mr. Karthik, Executive Director, Precision Machines and Auto Competence Private Limited. Candid, straight to the heart, uncluttered conversation. It's going to be for Mr. Ashutosh Kothari, all the way from Rajkot. And Private Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause. Dr. Beena, Director, Happy Valley Business Schools, nicely conducted like a very strong teacher. Guide and motivate the next gen to take entrepreneurship forward to the year 2047. Global Manufacture Cluster Vision 2047.
Honor the volunteers who contributed to the success of this evening. Mr. Vignesh Kumar T. Ramasamy, Mr. Vijay Kumar M, Mr. Ravi R, Mr. Vignesh Kumar T. Thank you for your effort. Mr. Ramesh Ramasamy, who helps us with all the presentations. It's truly digital transformation. Mr. Vijay Kumar M, who's an all hands-on guy. Mr. Ravi R. Please come to the stage for your memento. Mr. Shyam Vasudevan, please come forward. Mr. Matthew Minoj, please come forward. Time. Miss Mahalakshmi M, we honor everyone who supported GMCV 2047. Miss Sahana Banu, Miss Sindhu G, please give her a big round of applause. Mr. Santino Case, please come to the stage. Mr. Tamil Chelvan B.
To deliver the word of thanks, I now invite Mr. R. Ramamurthy, Vice Chairman INTEC 2026, to do the honors.
Respected dignitaries, distinguished guests, members of the press fraternity, fellow politicians, peer association members, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is my proud privilege and honor to propose the vote of thanks for this memorial occasion, the 12th edition of GMCV 2047. At the outset, I express our heartfelt gratitude to our honorable chief guests, panelists, and panel moderator for graciously joining us today despite their demanding schedules. Your valuable presence, inspiring thoughts, and insightful deliberations have brought tremendous substance, intellect, and relevance to the conclave. On behalf of CODISSIA and the organizing committee of INTEC, I sincerely thank each one of you for your time, encouragement, and contribution in making this event truly meaningful. Thank you once again. I would also like to extend our sincere appreciation to all the delegates and participants for the overwhelming response and enthusiastic participation. Your presence reflects the growing importance of knowledge platforms like GMCV 2027 in shaping the future of Indian manufacturing. We hope the sessions and discussions were insightful, informative, and thought-provoking. Our special thanks to the press and media fraternity from various media houses for our valuable coverage and continued support. I also take this opportunity to thank our Master of Ceremony, Mr. Solomon Porras, for his excellent handling of the proceedings and for conducting the event with professionalism, energy, and grace. A very special note of appreciation to Mr. D.K. Karthikeyan and his Mumbai team from Texas Ventures for successfully consulting and scripting GSAV 20,000 now for the 12th consecutive edition. It's a great one, sir. We also sincerely thank the Coimbatore operational team from Texas Ventures for their meticulous planning, coordination, and flawless execution in making this event an extraordinary success. Before I conclude, I would like to thank everyone who has contributed to the success of this country. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much.